Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shockwave48 here. Welcome back to another video. And today we got ourselves a new update of what's going on at the new chapter of My Hero Academia. Now, apparently, we just noticed that, what was going on in 382, I believe. And, this huge monster threw a mountain off one, and Dark Shadow just beat the crap out of him. And now he's younger, he's gotten stronger. So we're moving into something a little bit different. So this chapter is called Ashido'S Last Stand. Um, I don't know the point of Ashito had been involved in this chapter. I mean, I don't know what kind of, last stand she probably has at this chapter, I believe, but I do know there's something's going on, what's going to happen to her of this chapter. So we're going to get involved and see what's going on in 383. But before we get started, a quick reminder, if you are watching today's video, if you want to see more, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends on social media if you really like, and let me know your thoughts below on the link down below, or comment section below, I guess. Alright, with that being said, let's check out this new chapter.
Unfortunately, it seems like Horikoshi's going to be going on a 2-week break suddenly this week, so we're not going to be talking about the spoilers from My Hero Academia chapter 383. However, we can talk about our expectations now that we know how long we're going to have to wait for the next chapter. And my first expectation that I'm going to have is a Makia flashback. We know that Kirishima, Mina, and the others were outside the area where Gigantomakia was being held, and their mission was to defend him and make sure he wasn't released, while also taking down the Paranormal Liberation Front generals that were left over. But thanks to Chapter 382, we now know that Kirishima and the others were able to use Shinso to bring Makia over to the Gunga Mountain Villa battlefield. I have faith that Horikoshi will take us back to the beginning of this battle so we can see how Makia was even released in the first place and at which point Shinso joined the battle. But most importantly, I want to see this area and these events because we still haven't seen Mina despite seeing Kirishima. And we know that Mina specifically was there to battle the man who took out Midnight in the last war, especially after overhearing what he said about her. So would Horikoshi really skip that battle after clearly setting it up? I'd hope not. Over the course of the last few chapters, we've seen Toya Todoroki making his way to the Gunga Mountain Villa battlefield to have his final battle with Endeavor. Hawks does his best to keep All For One busy, but he yells to Endeavor that he's really the one that they need to settle things here, so he has to take care of Dabi ASAP because they need the #1 hero. Endeavor decides to not have this battle in front of everyone, and we've seen him flying away at full speed, still looking pretty tired, which we can tell from his inability to activate the flames on his face. But Endeavor is leading Dabi away from the battlefield and taking him somewhere else, and I'm wondering if Endeavor is taking Dabi to a similar place to Sokoto Peak, or if there's a specific kind of location that he's thought of a plan to use somehow, like above the ocean or a lake nearby. Wherever Endeavor is taking Dabi, don't forget that this is still a battle that we can expect to take place for a few chapters at least, so don't feel like this series is quite over yet, since there are a few battles that we haven't seen even start yet. Ultimately, Dabi is reaching the end of his timer much like All For One, so it'll be interesting to see what he does and what lasting effect he leaves on Endeavor if the #1 hero even survives, as we bring this series to a close. In chapter 382, we also saw that Toga was having some serious problems, to the point where not only Ochako, but both Hawks and All For One could notice something was wrong. Toga is having a crisis of character at the moment, and when you pair everything that's happened to her so far in her plotline, and the instability potentially caused by using Twice's quirk, she's really having trouble coming to terms with what side she's truly on here. It seemed like Toga had decided that she could no longer be saved, and she shut herself out from the heroes. But now with us seeing that she actually doesn't love Shigaraki or Dabi and can't quite put herself in their shoes, it raises the question of whether or not Toga will realize that the only member of the league she truly cared for or believed in was Twice. And now that he's gone, the only other person who she wants to be like to the point of being able to use their quirk is Ochako. Toga wants Ochako's life, and she also wants to be a normal girl, and she's been convincing herself
she will never be normal.
Everybody else that that's
She's a psychopath.
impossible. But now Ochako has the chance, along with Suyu and Jiro, to bring Toga back to her senses once and for all, and potentially even gain an ally. So could the entire tide of the war change depending on which side Toga ends up on? I think so, but where do you think her plotline is going? We've been getting a decent bit of focus on the outside world in this last section of MHA, and while it has been a few chapters since we've seen what's going on outside of Japan, don't forget that all the governments in the world had abandoned Japan's heroes for their own safety. But now they can actually watch the struggle taking place, and it isn't hard to see that if the heroes had any outside help, they'd be able to close this out. So could the streams taking place all over the internet push other countries to get involved? We know Salam from Egypt really took big issue with his country's decision to abandon All Might and the others. So could this be enough to drive the international heroes to action, much like Star and Stripe? Or will Japan really have to do this all on their own? And the final possible expectation that I have for next chapter, and one thing that kind of slipped through the cracks recently, literally, is Aizawa himself. Recently, we saw that Kurogiri went haywire and opened the portal beneath Aizawa and President Mike to save them from falling off the UA skybase, thanks to the effort of all of the Twice clones. But while we're grateful to see our teachers okay, we still have no idea where they were taken. Considering their past from the Vigilante spin-off, it's possible that the trio were taken to Naruhara, or a location that many fans from Vigilantes would recognize. While there's also the possibility that Kurogiri teleported them to some secret all-for-one centric location as well. Either way, if we don't cut to Aizawa soon, I'm gonna seriously be wondering what exactly it is that he's doing, and if this is just Hori setting up for another major tide change in the battle, as Aizawa potentially re-enters the battle with more than what he left with, if they're able to truly get Kurogiri or Shirakumo on the side of the heroes. Now, I know it's really hard dealing with a 2-week break, but over the next 2 weeks, we are going to have a lot of content on the channel. I am finishing up my third part to the iceberg. I've got a special video coming out talking about different My Hero Academia fan games, and there's all sorts of interesting stuff that we're working on. So check back on.
All right. I think I've seen enough. So, as far as I'm concerned about this, I think this is not the new chapter. There's just some predictions that's going to happen in the new chapter, I think. So we got a lot of info coming out very soon, in a matter of 2 weeks, because Horikoshi is taking a 2 week off, so we got pretty much way after that. So yeah, but I want to get my thoughts on Toga's side, because she is obviously had some difficulties with her quirk, and now she's having this feeling should she be a good girl or bad? Because obviously, I don't think villains entirely change depending on how they really feel to get their better understanding. But as far as I'm concerned, I think Ochako is probably going to try to save Toga from being bad or make her turn good. If she doesn't, I mean, who knows which side she might be. I mean, I really don't know. But I think, my guess here, I think it might be the hero side, because she really loves the hero. She really likes Ochako. She likes everybody, but you know, she really has a heart for Twice, and to be honest, he's gone. I'm so sorry to see that from you, Toga, but you know, sometimes things have, you know, happen for a reason. But alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys later. In the meantime, stay tuned for more. We'll be back, you know, with more intel when more My Hero Academia comes out eventually, and we'll see from there. Alright, thanks for watching, and peace out.